Hi, and welcome back to UncoverFraud.com. My name is David Melamed, and I'm a forensic accountant and fraud investigation expert of 20 years. And today I want to talk to you about Wirecard. You know, Wirecard has been something that's been in the news for the last few months, and I've been talking about it. So I figured I might as well give you an update on what's going on. You know, Germany's audit regulator suspects Ernst Young partners knew they were issuing a factually inaccurate audit for Wirecard in 2017. APAS, the Berlin-based audit oversight body, has reported EY to prosecutors, telling them that the firm may have acted criminally during its work for Wirecard. Just as a quick refresher, Wirecard collapsed into insolvency earlier this year in one of Europe's largest fraud scandals. Wirecard, a once high-flying German payments company, was audited by Ernst Young for more than a decade and until 2019 always received an unqualified audit. However, in 2017, EY was just days away from denying Wirecard the crucial all clear according to documents reviewed by APAS. But on March 29th of that year, EY warned Wirecard that a qualified audit was imminent and shared a draft version of the qualified opinion with its client. One of the sticking points raised by EY were protracted delays to a forensic audit by EY's anti-fraud team into alleged accounting manipulations at a Wirecard subsidiary in India, which was being stonewalled by Wirecard executives. Just days later, the auditors changed their minds. On April 5th, they signed an audit opinion that stated, "Our audit has not led to any reservations." APAS found that it was unreasonable to believe that the issues could have been resolved within a few days. The watchdog told prosecutors that therefore EY's unqualified audit was factually inaccurate. Last week, the EY auditing partners told members of parliament that they were being probed by APAS over their work for Wirecard. EY told the Financial Times that because of the ongoing confidentiality obligation, the firm was unable to discuss details of the audit procedures conducted at Wirecard. But based on its current understanding of the facts, EY claims that their colleagues conducted their audit procedures professionally, to the best of their knowledge, and in good faith. The auditing firm stressed that it was actively working towards a legally effective release from the confidentiality obligation, after which they will be able to provide details. Munich prosecutors are evaluating the evidence sent by APAS and have not decided whether to open a criminal investigation of EY partners. Under German law, auditors found guilty of such misconduct can be punished with up to 3 years in jail. But this is one of only 3 instances where EY is fighting to support the worldwide reputation that it has. Now, it's unfair only to point fingers at the auditor. After all, if you've watched some of my other videos, you will remember that audits only identify 3% of occupational frauds. Yes, there is an expectation cap between the audit and the uses of the financial statements. After all, it almost seems basic that a crucial part of an audit would be identifying not only materially misstated financial statements, but also report fraud within an organization. Let's focus on Wirecard for a minute. Wirecard continuously obstructed a special audit of its books by accounting firm KPMG. This probe or investigation ended in uncovering fictitious bookings on a massive scale and accelerated the collapse of the once superstar mobile payment company. KPMG claims to have been confronted with considerable obstacles in its task to unpack Wirecard's accounts dating back several years. Interviews with key counterparts were routinely delayed or moved, and accounting probes couldn't be fulfilled because the company didn't provide the required data. In investigations, data is key, and significant red flag, without a doubt, is the difficulty of getting access to information. As a result, KPMG struggled to fulfill its mandate. It was impossible to sufficiently comprehend the transaction volumes from 2016 to 2018, according to KPMG. At some point, KPMG even considered aborting the audit, which is rare and comes with a whole lot of legal repercussions. The auditor's account is a key part of the investigation, trying to understand why Wirecard collapsed and if the company's demise could have been detected sooner. KPMG was engaged by Wirecard to do a special audit late last year, reviewing the accounts that had already been signed off by long-term auditor Ernst Young. One episode that drew particular attention was a trip to Manila in the Philippines, where Wirecard said its partner companies held considerable cash for transactions and escrow accounts. KPMG, though, claims that employees at the local bank were unable to produce the required documents. By the time KPMG handed over its report, the auditor had concluded there was no evidence that funds in the escrow accounts in Asia actually existed. KPMG was surprised how even after repeated requests, Wirecard failed to provide proof that the money allegedly sitting in the escrow accounts was there. Wirecard filed for insolvency in late June after admitting that more than $2.26 billion in funds, in fact, never existed. The former chief executive officer, Marcus Brown, was detained shortly thereafter and is now in jail, while his number 2 chief operating officer is on the run and now featured on Interpol's most wanted list. Braun appeared in front of the parliamentary inquiry last week, but largely refrained from answering questions beyond brief introductory comments. In that statement, he said regulators or auditors were likely massively misled. Wirecard AG continuously obstructed a special audit of its books by accounting firm KPMG, a probe that ended up uncovering fictitious bookings on a massive scale and hastened the collapse of the once high-flying mobile payment company. Speaking at a parliamentary inquiry in Berlin on Thursday, KPMG partner Alex Goseznik laid out how his company was confronted with considerable obstacles in its task to unpack Wirecard's accounts dating back several years. Interviews with key counterparts were routinely delayed or moved, and accounting probes couldn't be fulfilled because the company didn't provide the required data. As a result, KPMG struggled to fulfill its mandate. It proved impossible to sufficiently comprehend the transaction volumes from 2016 to 2018. At some point, KPMG even considered, as I said, aborting the audit. The auditor's account is a key part of an investigation trying to understand why Wirecard collapsed, and if the company's demise could have been detected sooner. KPMG was brought on by Wirecard to do a special audit late last year, reviewing the accounts that had already been signed off by long-term auditor Ernst Young. But the question really is, how could this have been prevented or at least identified earlier? And the answer is quite simple. You cannot have juniors do audit work without adequate supervision. A junior should not be told to copy what they did the previous year. An understanding of cash sections is not just an introduction to accounting and auditing. It is an important aspect of an audit. My name is David Malamed, and I am a forensic accountant and fraud investigation expert. To find out more about me and the services we offer, please visit uncoverfraud.com. Thank you and God bless.